are with our guest, Professor Robert Keith, today. Before I begin my questions, I would like to thank him for accepting our invitation. It's an honor to make an interview with you. So my first question is, how did you meet audiology?
Well, first of all, thanks for the invite. It's a pleasure. I have a long relationship with friends in Turkey, and I've traveled there, and it's a beautiful country, and I'm glad that we're now talking together and getting more acquainted. So you asked how did I get acquainted and introduced to audiology?
Yes.
My father was a bookkeeper in a farmer's lumber yard, and I thought I was going to be a bookkeeper or an accountant. But when I took some business courses to learn about business, and I did not like that. And I met a person who was a teacher in a small college that I went for 2 years, who told me about speech and hearing problems and the profession. And so based on his advice, I took some courses in audiology and speech, and I loved it, and I never changed after that. So it was based on a discussion from a former teacher. So the advice is, you never know how your words will affect somebody else, and you can make a difference sometimes by making suggestions. So after I started in University of Iowa, I took courses. I started to take some clinical work, and I found that I really liked the patient contact. And I had some good teachers and mentors, and convinced me. So that's how I got started.
My next question is, in your opinion, is only audiology education sufficient to succeed in the field of audiology? If not enough, in which areas should we support ourselves?
Well, I think the educational audiologist should have a broad, basic education that would include such things as in utero development, when a mother's pregnant and carrying a baby, how does the ear develop, and then what can happen in that time. So development of the hearing mechanism while a mother is carrying the baby is important to learn, and then what can go wrong during that time. Also, I just should learn about speech and language developmental landmarks. For example, at what age should a child start to talk? At what age should they have a 3,000 or 4,000 word vocabulary? So that we should understand language development in children, so that we know when we're seeing a child, whether this child is language delayed or not language delayed. So that early language development of the auditory system, I think, are important. Of course, basic courses in acoustics, because acoustics are important for us. For example, if you're fitting a hearing aid and you make an adjustment in just the ear mold, you can change the acoustics of the hearing aid, how it sounds, the frequency response of the hearing aid. So we need to learn about acoustics. We need to learn about acoustics in the environment, how that affects speech understanding in quiet and in noise, and what kind of noise, and how that affects development of children. Mm-hmm. So in addition, we need to know medical things such as external ear disorders, atresia of the ear, diseases of the middle ear, otitis media, perforations of the tympanic membrane, cholesteatomas, otitis media, etc. And then disorders of the inner ear, for example, Meniere's disease causing dizziness and hearing loss, and then disorders of the auditory nerve, tumors and multiple sclerosis and other diseases that affect. So, and finally, we need to understand about aging and the effects of aging on hearing, because older people generally get hearing loss. People who work in noisy industry get hearing loss. So we need to know that. So we need to have a broad understanding of development of the ear and what happens later on. Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My third question is, what would you advise to audiology students about their careers? What path should they follow in career planning?
Well, I thought a lot about this, and I tried to look at the opportunities that you can read about on the internet about Turkey. And in Turkey, there's not at the moment much private practice. Most audiologists work in hospitals and clinics. And so I think in your professional future, can you develop a group of audiologists who go into private practice, who set up an office like a physician's office, where they have testing and then can sell and dispense hearing aids to patients who come to them. They're the primary caregiver. So I think that in the future, learning about business and then setting up private practice is an opportunity that you would try and develop in your country in the future. So I hope that I would have, my other note says, I think what you have to do is to also be active at a local level and countrywide in order to get more support for providing hearing aids to individuals who do not have money. And so that babies with a hearing loss are supported by the government social programs so that they have hearing aids at a very early level so they can keep up with their peers and learn language and be successful.
My fourth question is, what are your suggestions for making a difference in the field of audiology?
Well, as I said, it depends on what's available in Turkey, and then you have to broaden the opportunities so that you're expanding what we call your scope of practice. How wide is your practice, and what opportunities are available to you? And you have to create more opportunities, and they are in schools, in private practice, in industry, and even in the military. Does the Army have audiologists who working for hearing conservation and protecting hearing? And it's a very important thing. What's available in universities? You have, I think, 9 audiology programs in the country. Do they all have clinics? Are the clinics well supported? Do they have good facilities? Do they have good equipment to promote better teaching, practical teaching? And then do some doctors' offices hire audiologists? And would they, ear, nose, and throat doctor, to provide another opportunity where people can work? So for audiology students, what should they do about their careers? I think that they have to decide what path they want to take. Do they want to take a path in working in the hospital? They need practice. Do they want to work in the schools? Do they want to work with the government, etc.? So some of the courses they might take on their own would help them get a head start in these other fields, other opportunities. I want to add something. I think that important for making a difference in audiology is go the extra mile with your patients. If they need extra time, take that extra time. Be patient with them. Learn about them. Learn about their communication needs, and not only talk to the patient. Talk to the patient's family, because hearing loss is not just an individual problem; it's a family problem, and everybody is involved. The other thing is be involved. Students should be involved locally in professional affairs. Be involved in the community. Help persons who are not as fortunate as you, who have a university degree and a head start. And then the other thing that I want to suggest for making a difference in the field of audiology is that you keep abreast of the field. Learn what's new. It's always changing. The audiology that I learned in my early career is very different from the audiology that is practiced now. So always learning, never stop learning is my advice.
Thank you. So my fifth question is, could you share your 3 golden rules for life in general?
Yeah, I do like to do that, because I think it's important for us as professionals to understand that we have a bigger life, right? Audiology is how we involve ourselves. It enriches us. It keeps us thinking. It keeps us growing. It provides us income so that we can live well. But the other things that are important in my golden rules, which may be different than somebody else's, is that family comes first. Nothing's more important than your family. When your family is happy, you'll be happy. So you understand that pain and suffering is part of life, and so you have to help people who are experiencing that and try and help them in ways that can relieve that. So keep a balance in life. Treat everybody with respect. Treat everybody with dignity. Here's a rule in life. Everybody counts or nobody counts. So we are all important. And if you remember that, you'll be successful. And then I've already said the third golden rule is be a lifelong learner. The cells in your body replace themselves every 7 years. Your career is going to change every 7 years. So keep up with it. Be a lifelong learner. And I think your profession is going to always be evolving and growing. You have to grow with it. Those are my few suggestions.
Thank you.
Welcome.
My last question is, what are your expectations from young people in the field of audiology?
Well, I thought about this question a lot when I was thinking about talking with you and all of the audiologists in Turkey. And I think for young people, I can only say that I hope and I expect that you will find challenges and opportunities in this wonderful profession of audiology, that by helping people, you will personally have a fulfilling career. You won't fail. Albert Einstein, the scientist, said, "You never fail until you stop trying." So keep trying. When things get tough, keep trying. So in the end, my wish for you is that you have as much success and happiness and satisfaction with your career as I have had with my own. So for now, for 1,000 years, I wish you happiness and success and love and fulfillment.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So that was it. Thank you for participating, people contributing to Odyoloji project.